So when it comes to beauty, a lot of women tend to strive for this look that usually hurts them in the long run, trying to be this perfect 10. And I notice with my generation, we're not even in our 50s and 60s and 70s yet. And a lot of women that I've grew up with, they're starting to already look older for their age. And it's pretty sad. Made me wanted to do this video. I was out with my best friend and we was meeting up with his friend, and his friend is into like video making, photography, all that. They're like a part of this whole huge dance community in Manhattan. So it's like my best friend knows everybody in that industry. And we was discussing over this project that I might do with them. And well, actually, they're kind of helping me out. But his friend is so creative. He was just coming up with so many ideas. And one of them required to have like this gorgeous woman. And they were asking me if I knew anyone that wanted to act for this particular film that we was planning on a few days ago. And I didn't want to do it because I don't know. I didn't want to do it. But as I was thinking, I couldn't come up with one woman that is gorgeous enough for that role. And even them two, they know a few because they're in the industry. They know models and actresses and stuff like that. However, even they still had to think, but they came up with a few. And as I was going back home that day, I was kind of like, wow, how did I not know at least one gorgeous woman that would be able to do that role? Plus she has to be professional, but still. And I started thinking of all the women that I grew up with that used to be gorgeous. And now it's like life took a toll on them. And even like my best friend, he has this joke him and his friends make. And it's kind of like when you see your high school crush after like 10 years after graduation or whatever, and she's not how she used to look. And a lot of guys have that, they have that moment. And so it's funny how they explain it, but at the same time, I'm like, what happened? Like 10 years from graduating high school, like you're still a young adult. Like, why are you still looking like a life took a toll on you already? And I have 4 tips in this video, and I'm trying to be nice about it because us women, we tend to, we're not good at, well, not all of us are good at being criticized and stuff like that. And I'm so used to talking to guys, and I see how they get on each other all the time. And they are so ruthless to the point where I be thinking like, "Oh my gosh, you just messed up your friendship with so and so." But like 5 minutes later, they're like laughing and enjoying themselves or whatnot. And in a way, I kind of envy that because with us women, it's like you got to be careful how you say things because even though you're trying to help her out or whoever, like your aunt, friend, I don't know, sometimes they take it to the heart and it's like you don't even want the drama. So the best thing to do is just keep quiet. But I'm going to be a little bit not as harsh. I'm going to try not to be harsh in this video. But I do have some tips and what I think is the problem. So now before I get into it, I'm not saying try to look like the baddest bitch on the block. I'm not saying that. I'm just giving advice for how to look the best you of how you can be. If you know what I mean. So With that being said, the first tip I would advise for women to do, and I don't know why they do this, and it confuses me. I don't know where this came from, but I don't know what it is with the long ass caterpillar eyelashes. I don't know. Like, it's not flattering. It doesn't look right. You don't need those long caterpillar eyelashes. I don't, you know, I grew up in the arts. I went to high school fashion industry. In middle school, I was in like this art program and all that stuff. So I've been around girls who, when it comes to makeup, they it's a part of the aesthetic. And some like to dress like they have like this very aesthetic. Some have this like cosplay aesthetic, and the reason why they wear all this makeup or whatever, it's a part of like a self-expression, and it's not to like to attract anyone. They just like to style themselves like that. So I understand, but majority of girls, they're not as animated like that. So when I see women wear these long caterpillar eyelashes, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to ask someone the next time I see a girl wear these long eyelashes, like what is it about that is very, I don't I don't know. But to each his own. I'm not saying don't wear it. If that's what you like, then like do you. But to me and to a lot of people, it's like it's hard to talk to a girl wearing these long eyelashes when all you're focusing on is those eyelashes. Like you can't even see their eyes really half the time. And on top of that, when it comes to the whole seduction and all that, eyes play like a huge part. And if you're trying to flirt with a guy or whatever, it's like they can't see your eyes. And eyes is the window to the soul. Unless you don't you're not trying to attract any guy, and you don't want no guy to tap into your soul, so therefore you're gonna block that up with the eyelashes and all that. I mean, I don't know. But other than that, I don't know what that's about, but I don't like it. And at the end of the day, it's not about what I like, but this this is just a tip. Like you don't gotta listen to me, but it's just not flattering. It's just not flattering. So the next tip I am mentioning is not wearing too much makeup. And when it comes to makeup, like I said, I do understand why some girls do it because it's like a some type of aesthetic to them. But even that, it comes with cons. And for a lot of women, I don't think it's wise to wear makeup all the time. Like I grew up with girls starting to wear makeup already, like in middle school, and a lot of them don't even look the same. Your skin needs time to breathe, and wearing too much makeup all the time, it does age you. And for me, I don't wear makeup. Like all I do is wash my face. I throw on some aloe gel and some hemp seed oil afterwards, and I use like some type of eye cream. And the most I'll do is pluck my eyebrows, which I never used to do before. So I pluck my eyebrows and I wear either lipstick or lip gloss. That's it. So wash my face, aloe gel, hemp seed oil, eye cream, pluck my eyebrows, lipstick, lip gloss, and that's it. But it's like when you minimize your skincare routine, it helps a lot in the long run. And you may not be glammed up, but you do have a natural, healthy glow, which is way more attractive to me than wearing a face full of makeup. And when girls, it's like as soon as we hit puberty, a lot of girls tend to rush into the whole beauty and try to strive for this like bad bitch pedestal instead of allowing themselves to like blossom like a butterfly or like a flower. For me, I was always I was one of those awkward types and like tomboyish, so I was never into that type of stuff. And I noticed, not even just me, but like other girls who were very awkward or tomboyish or whatever, they look good now than they did before because they didn't rush into all of that. They still was in their like kid and teenage phase. And even like for an example, I don't watch myself on YouTube. Like once I upload these videos, I don't look back at none of my videos. But I do tend to look at my older videos, not all the time, but it's like a flashback for me, like a throwback. And I noticed how my older videos is like I dressed different. My hair, first of all, my hair was it was so unhealthy at the time. I had just went natural and I didn't know how to style my hair. So between the way I was dressing, my hair, everything else versus how I look now, it's like I'm definitely an upgraded person than how I was in like my early 20s. And I that's how it's to me that's how it should be. And I don't think even at the age of like 18 and 20, like yeah, you're 20, but you're still like you're fresh out of your teenage years, you're still kind of a kid in a way. I don't think once you hit that age you should just automatically just be this bad bitch. You got to give yourself time to grow because a lot of girls that I know now that move too fast, they didn't age well. And yeah, next tip to me is pretty important, and that is finding your unique look in other cultures. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of people tend to follow this European standard look. And I find it funny to me because even a lot of Europeans don't have that European look, like the whole narrow nose. Like a lot of them don't even have that, and they be getting surgery. But I know quite a few people who went through surgery so they don't have to. I'm not even gonna say their reasons, but they just wanted a more narrow nose, and to me, I'm I could never like I have a pudgy nose, but I never saw myself wanting to go under the knife to fix my face. And not maybe like a few years back or something like that, I was doing research on something and I came across this tribe in like the rainforest. And I noticed how some of the women, they were beautiful, they were gorgeous. But I was like, I look like I could be in that tribe. Like, I'm not even trying to reach for the stars, but like, I feel like some of those women look like they could be my cousins or something. And they had like the same pudgy nose and like the cheek area. And they were in same skin tone and stuff. And they were so beautiful. And I saw myself in them and I was like, why would I ever even want to get a nose job after seeing these women? Like, and another group of women that I compare myself to sometimes, it's only when I get a tan. And I might be reaching, but when I get a tan, sometimes I think I'd be looking like one of the girls in like Hawaii or something, like the brown skin ones. And when I see them, they some of them have like the pudgy nose and all that. And they're beautiful. So like instead of looking at the European standard, you gotta look in other areas. And that's where like you'll find your beauty in other cultures. Like if you can't find it in your hometown or whatever, or the European standard. Like, it's out there somewhere. Like, don't fold under the pressure and then start getting your nose done. Another thing too is, like, for me, I don't have like the big plump lips, and I can't see myself getting lip fillers. Like, no. No, I don't think I would look great, first of all, but no, I can't see myself doing that. And I know quite a few girls who have done like lip fillers, and I don't know. It's just, I don't think people really think like 10 years down the line, or even a year from now, like how you may look and how that's going to affect you health wise. I don't know. But it is important to, if you can't find it in the European standard, whatever, look at other cultures that have similar features to you. Another culture that I'm gonna have to look up, because I've been getting this recently. Like the other day, this Indian guy from like India, he asked me if I was from India, and I'm like, no, but that's not the first time I've heard that. I've had some Indian guys ask me, am I like Indian or part Indian? And I would like to know what part of India they're talking about, so I could do some research. But, it's out there. So it is important to find your unique look in other cultures. And I think you will feel less likely to get your face done or your body done when you see beauty of yourself and other people. If that makes sense, I think that makes sense. Tip is a big one, and that is, stop dealing with ain't shit dudes. And I have to say it like that because these dudes, these guys, the ones that y'all deal with, ain't shit. And it's crazy to me how a lot of women I know be dealing with guys like this, and it ages them so much. I see women get into relationships happy, skin's glowing, everything. And by the time they're done with that relationship, they're dried up, dark circles underneath their eyes, they look drained, and you would think they learned their lesson, but then they end up with another guy who is no good at all. And I get how these guys, they have this wild card, and sometimes it makes you feel like it gets you out of your world and into his, and it makes you forget how your life probably sucks right now. So you just be running off with this guy, and you're thinking everything is sunshine and unicorns and all that, but then you find out that this guy ain't shit. And sometimes it's too late, because some of them be abusive mentally and physically, and it just takes a toll. And God forbid he gets you pregnant, and now you're stuck with this guy. And I know some women who try to leave, but it's like the guys are like this leech on them. They just won't let them go. They won't let them go and be happy. And it's just so crazy to me. And I be seeing the good guys, they get passed over. But that's another conversation for another time. And I can understand why they get passed over. But it's just pros and cons, pros and cons. This guy may have good dick for the moment, but in the long run, you're gonna be really stressed out. Um, so stop dealing with these guys. Oh my gosh. I mean, to the women that I know personally in real life, it's like I can't even say anything anymore, because every time when I put in my 2 cents and they know that I'm right, they end up going back to the same guy. So it's like, what's the point of even saying anything? So it's just, I don't know. I'm gonna pray for y'all, like for real, for real. This last tip that I am going to mention uh, this one is very tricky, and it's about kids. And I'm gonna just say so. I know that kids are a blessing. No matter what, kids are a blessing. And I know how some kids be changing mothers for the better. Like, I know a few women who were wild and crazy, and as soon as they got pregnant, it is like they matured and they started doing things that is benefiting them and their kids. So, kids are a good thing. But for the most part, for a lot of women, and I'm just going off of observation, the ones I know, and I know a lot, it's like I see how these kids be draining them. And it's not, I don't think it's the kids necessarily. I just think that the women, they never gave themselves time to grow and discover themselves even further. Like, they say by the time you're like 25, your brain is fully developed and stuff like that. And I definitely noticed when I had hit around that age, there was a shift between my younger self and who I am now. And I know who I am for the most part. Like, there's still more discovery, of course, but I feel like spiritually, on the spiritual path, I just know myself more, and I'm way more mature and all that good stuff. But there are a lot of women out there who get pregnant at such a young age. It's like they have to grow fast. And you don't really get to know yourself. Like, you still can with a kid, but it's so much harder because you have to put yourself to the side and focus on this human that is growing in your belly and whatnot. So, like I said, kids are a blessing, but it does hit different when you give yourself time to like wait, discover yourself, find out what you like, what you don't like, the career path that you want to be on, the relationships and whatnot. Being on your own for a bit, it just hits different. And I do notice the ones who do wait, they have more of a glow. And me, I don't have any kids right now. Um, and I do want kids in the future. And I feel like when that time comes, I will be like, I'm already at peace now. So if I was to get pregnant now, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I'm at peace with the idea of getting pregnant. And if I would, hmm, I don't know what's the right word to use for this, but I think a lot of women should experience that. Like, discovering yourself and going through this journey. So by the time you are ready to have kids, if you want kids, you will be so at peace. It's like you already done a lot of things, and this kid coming into your life is like a new phase and a new chapter that you're going to be ready for. Like, I don't think you'll ever be ready mentally for a kid because I know how draining kids could be. Like, I love my niece and nephew, but at some point, I just be giving them back to my sister. Like, you know, you could take them back now, but I love my niece, I love my nephew, and I would do anything for them. But I see how draining it could be, and I see how my sister, how she be looking. She be so tired, but you know, it's a beautiful thing. And I'm not saying like don't regret at all. Like, there's no regrets. Kids are a blessing. You should not be regretting having kids and stuff like that. Everything happens for a reason. But it does hit different when you wait a bit to have kids. And I know a couple of women who had kids and they didn't allow themselves to grow and stuff like that. And they committed suicide. I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube, but a lot of my videos I put that is not meant for kids. So I don't know, maybe I can't say that word, but they committed suicide. And it's stressful. Motherhood is stressful, but I've seen that it could age you. It could. So with that being said, I hope that some of my tips helped. You don't gotta listen to me or whatever. If you want to wear long eyelashes, if you want to wear makeup, if you want to continue what you're doing, do you. I just am going off of observation, and I'm not here to offend anyone. I just want to help. So, yeah.